creepy asshole. On the 14th floor where the bathroom door don't lie. So happy we don't gotta worry about the cops. We could all get arrested for this, but when the police mix, I don't give a shit tonight. Alright. Now she walks in the bedroom fast, despite all the noise from the crowd. Now she spits the sound of bathroom sink. Her mother would be so proud. Gets on a deed and there's a line to go pee, but the bathroom looks like a war zone.
Welcome in to episode 24 of Phired Up, presented by the Belly Up Podcast Network. Check them out, bellyupsports.com. We're live on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube every Monday at 9 p.m. My name's Mike Gilletta. Joining me, as usual, is Dom Console. What's going on, man?
What's up, man? Not much. How you doing?
Not much. Just getting into it. You did so you watched Many Saints in Newark. Let's just jump right into it. You watched Many Saints in Newark this weekend, right? How was it? What are your
did.
thoughts? I need to get your breakdown of it.
Before I get into it, have you seen it yet, or?
I have not. No.
Okay. So I'm a huge Sopranos fan. I've seen a lot of reviews on it, and some are good and most are not so good. My official view of it, my review of it is, I thought it was a very good movie.
Okay.
It was not great, but it was everything I expected it to be. So it was something I really, really liked. If you're a big Sopranos fan, or honestly, I mean, even if you're not, it's something nice to watch.
Right.
You might not appreciate it as much if you've never seen the show, or if you're not a fan of the show. But it's definitely for Soprano fans. There were a lot of little things I didn't love, but the things that I did like about the movie definitely outweighed the things that I didn't like, the small things I didn't like. So, but overall, I think Michael Gandolfini crushed it. I think the main character, Dicky Moltisanti, I don't even know the actor's name, but he was incredible. I did think Leslie Odom Jr. his character was a little boring. He's one of my my new up and coming favorite actors. So,
okay.
But it was a very good movie all around, and I'm happy. It exceeded all of my expectations.
Nice. Yeah, I watched The Sopranos, but like when it was out, and I haven't seen it since. And I was obviously younger, and I don't really remember much. Like, I'm gonna have to go back and watch it because I probably didn't appreciate it then because I was just too young.
For sure.
So I need to go back and watch it. But I do want to watch this movie. I've heard not so great things.
Right.
But the people that I've probably heard that from are probably not diehard, or are diehards where they were just expecting more.
Yeah, and I think the diehards, you'll get a little bit of both. Where like a lot of people think like it was not like they weren't not mocking the characters, but they overplayed the characters. But in The Sopranos, the characters are very specific. So like I think they casted it great. I think the mannerisms were down. I think the way the guys talked were down. Just everything. I mean, overall, I really like the mother was unbelievable. I mean, she played spot on. And I just kind of think that a lot of, and I don't want to give too much away for anybody that hasn't seen it.
Yeah, it just came out.
Yeah,
you can still say spoiler alert at this point.
Right. I'm not going to give anything away, but I do think that this isn't really giving anything away. But I just kind of feel like the scenes were really short, and like most of the scenes were really short, and I feel like the supporting characters, like Silvio and Paulie and Pussy and all those kind of guys, I kind of feel like because it was a movie and you only had 2 hours to like really dissect the main character Dickie and like the supporting character in Tony even, like I kind of feel like you didn't see those other like supporting actors very much like you do in the show, because the show is 6 or 7 seasons, so you have 10 episodes. You know what I'm saying? You have a lot more time to get in depth with them.
How much of a nostalgia factor was there in the show? Like, did they keep mentioning that it was Tony Soprano and that it was based around The Sopranos, or Like, how, did they do flashbacks? Or I guess it wouldn't even be flashbacks. But how much of the show did they incorporate into the movie?
I mean, I don't want to give too much
Right,
away
yeah, I
because
know,
something
it's tough.
happens in it that was
Right.
in the show. So
Okay.
like,
So they do touch on it, though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Okay.
I would say that. I mean, you know, even like the little like phrases that Junior says like in the show, he says it in the movie. Like you know, they definitely hit on. You could tell that the creators of Sopranos made this movie.
Right.
Like, definitely. You know, and like I said, if you've never seen The Sopranos, like if any listeners have never seen it, like you can definitely watch it. It's just you might not appreciate it. You might think it's just like a blah kind of movie, like
Right.
But
Yeah, and this show's only like, what did you say, 6 or 7 seasons? 7 seasons, maybe?
it's 6
So it's not-
seasons, but
so it's
6A
not even
and
like-
6B, so 7
Right, okay,
technically.
yeah. So it's not even really that long of a show where you can sit down and binge it, for sure.
For sure. It shouldn't take you long, and every
Yeah.
episode sucks you in, and you know you watch it for an hour, and you're like, holy shit! Like,
Right.
I was here for an hour. Like,
Right.
it's a great show though.
That whole era of like HBO shows were fantastic.
Well, yeah, I mean Sunday nights you had Entourage, and towards the end of The Sopranos, you had Entourage and Sopranos on Sunday night.
Yep.
After The Sopranos and Entourage ended, you had Game of Thrones. So
And Californication was somewhere in
yeah,
there as well.
yeah.
Yeah.
Sex
So-
and the City, even like the
That
late
was an HBO
'90s,
show?
late '90s,
it
early
really?
2000s. Yeah, absolutely. Sex and the City and Sopranos were really what put HBO like on the map. You know, that
Yeah,
Sunday night.
You're a big Sex and the City guy, huh?
Hey man, I've seen the movies. I went to the movies
Have
to
you?
see the movies. Yeah, I got sucked into it with my
Yeah.
my mom. So
Yep, of course.
I was
Of
a
course you-
kid.
You didn't have a choice.
no.
All right. Well, you want to jump in then? We will talk about the Eagles' loss later. But it's finally here. The Philly season's officially over. We don't talk about any more, playoff push or will they make the playoffs? Will they do this? Will they do that? The season's just over, and we expected it to come to this point, right? They finished the season, what was it, 82-80?
Right.
Their first quote unquote winning season in 10 years. To me, it's not a winning season. You just finished 2 games over 500.
Right.
Like, that's all that says to me. So yeah, I don't know. It is what it is.
We should have had the funeral music queued up.
We should have.
We could have had it. We should have
Yeah.
wore all black. We could have went out in style, but yeah, I mean, it was a disappointing year. We've been talking about it all year. You know, the things that they were missing. It kind of sucks because like if they would have beaten those bad teams early in the year, in the middle of the year, and we could say that every year where, if we would have won this game or if we would have won that game, but like late in the season, I mean, you have to beat those teams coming down the stretch. So and they kind of just fell apart. So I am excited for this offseason to a certain degree. I kind of want to see what they put together, what Dombrowski has up his sleeve. Hopefully it's something. As much as I would love to build a farm system, it's not going to happen in one off season. So
No.
but
No,
I'm just saying before I kind of hope they build they spend some money and then go from there with the farm system.
Right. Because that does give me a nice little transition. I don't know if you saw Bryce Harper's quotes. I don't know if it was
did
today.
not.
I don't know if it was today or yesterday.
It was probably today because I think today was like the
The
media day
locker
or
clean
whatever.
out day or
Yeah.
whatever they call it.
Yeah.
So here's the quote. It's a little long. We're a little behind in the minor leagues right now. Of course, you go into every offseason wanting an opportunity to get a top guy. But we can't just keep going out and buying and buying and buying. We need homegrown talent. When you look at teams that have homegrown talent, those are the teams that have success. I think as a whole, we need our minor leagues to be better. We need guys to come from the minor leagues and have success and be successful, not have to go up and go down.
Yeah, I mean he's spot on.
He's spot on, but like it's a little ironic saying we don't need to keep buying when he just got paid $330 million.
Right.
A little ironic, but
Right. I don't think he meant in the sense that like we I don't think he meant it in that sense. I just think that he meant like we need to do better
for sure.
with the farm system. But drafting players and even trading for young players. But
Right.
But yeah, I don't know. It's not going to building the farm system this year is not going to help bring a World Series next year.
No,
So like you're going to have to spend money, and it is what it is. But
you have to.
yeah,
So, Yeah, I mean, we've talked about in the past what the team needs. I don't think we need to really beat it down anymore, and we're gonna get there in the
Right.
winter when things happen. We're gonna say what this
When
team
the
needs.
hot stove starts.
Exactly.
My
so,
favorite. That's my favorite. I think it's my favorite off-season thing, like in baseball, like the hot stove. Like
the hot stove.
yeah, love it.
What's it like? November, December area?
Yeah. No, I'd say like November through January is probably like the hot stove era
Right.
or the hot stove time.
Exactly. So we'll see what happens then, because I mean they need a lot to happen.
Yeah.
I mean I just think about. I mean, again, we knew this was going to happen eventually, but you think back to the Braves series and you're a game and a half out or whatever it was going into that series, and I think they got swept, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
3 games.
It's brutal.
Yeah, and look, I mean, if you beat the Marlins early in the year and you beat Pittsburgh when they went to Pittsburgh for 4, they lost 3 out of 4 in what was that in July, and then they went on a winning streak after that. But still, like those games matter later in the year. Like maybe you go into the Marlins series if you win those games. Maybe you go into the Marlins series only down a game. You know what I'm saying? Or you're tied for first. Like then you get another chance. So
Right.
they definitely they shoot themselves in the foot every year, and they definitely done it this year.
Yeah, they have. But speaking of Bryce Harper, I mean, that's one big positive that came out of this year. Bryce Harper probably at this point in time is an MVP in my eyes, at least. He
Yeah.
played an MVP level. He was fantastic. 35 home runs, 309 batting average, 615 slugging, 1.044 OPS. He was the 42 doubles, which led the all majors.
Right.
I mean, he was just terrific. I mean, he's probably the MVP, right? A heavy favorite at this point. Like, he's gonna win it.
I mean, I would think so. The other couple guys I think the only guy in the AL and the NL I think that are like really have a shot to win it are. There's only one guy that's in the playoffs, and that's Trey Turner. Like I think the top 3 right now, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's Harper, Tatis, and Trey Turner are the top 3, right?
Right.
Does that sound familiar?
I believe so. I was
And
gonna
I
check
think
now,
Trey,
but I can't
Trey
find
Turner
it.
is the only one that's in the playoffs in the NL. The AL has Ohtani, Guerrero Jr., and Semien, I think, are the top 3 in the AL, and none of them have made the playoffs either.
Right.
So
Yeah,
it's kinda
they
weird.
They closed the odds once the season came down. I can't find any odds for them
Okay.
now. So
Yeah, and I actually read on CBS their baseball page the top 10 like potential AL NL MVPs, and I think Max Muncy, Trey Turner were the only 2 from the NL that made the playoffs. I think Soto was another one, but obviously he didn't make the playoffs.
Soto came on strong late.
Yeah,
He was really
yeah.
good.
But it's another guy. It's another guy that could win MVP. That's not in the playoffs.
Right.
The AL was crazy too. It was like Semien, Guerrero Jr., and Ohtani. Like I said,
Well, Semien hit like
46
46 home runs.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
he was insane.
he was a beast this year.
Yeah.
And he's not even the best player on his team. Isn't that crazy? And then they didn't make the
Right.
playoffs.
I know.
So it kind of sucks. But I really would like to see. I would have liked to seen Seattle make the playoffs in the AL. But Yankees Red Sox is going to be a lot of fun.
Oh, the
tomorrow
drama is
night.
unreal. Is that
Yeah.
tomorrow night? It's
Yeah.
must-watch TV.
Or Wednesday night. I'm sorry. I think it's Wednesday night.
Okay. I mean, it's must-watch TV.
Yeah,
at
of
that
course,
point.
of course. And then I'm excited to see the White Sox. I like the White Sox a lot this year. Fuck the Astros. And I forget who's the last team.
In the AL?
Yeah. What division? The Central.
I don't know.
There's 3 AL
Hold on.
East AL East teams, and that's and the Yankees and the Red Sox are the wild card. That game's in Boston. No, the Chicago's the Central. Who won the Rays. The Rays won the East.
Yeah. The Astros, the Rays, the White Sox, the Yankees, and the Red Sox.
Right.
Yep. There you
Yep. So obviously the Rays are going to do damage. I'd really like to see the White Sox go far, and then the NL. We'll see with the Braves with the pitching. If your team is good enough, I guess you can get by with decent pitching. Who else is in the NL here?
So the Dodgers play the red hot Cardinals in the wild card game.
Right.
Which I
They
mean,
won like the last 18 or whatever it was.
18 of 19 or something like
Yeah.
that. Yeah,
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's insane. They're red hot. Adam Wainwright's pitching like he's 26 again.
Right? He got another deal too.
Yeah,
He signed
1
another
year
year.
deal, 2 year deal. He's still
1
pitching
year
next
deal.
year. Yeah, okay, just 1 year on from here on
Yeah.
out. But he's been spectacular.
Yeah.
I mean, they're kind of playing with house money at this point. I don't think they're really expected to be there.
Right.
All the pressure's on LA at this point.
Well, I think they expected to be there early, like when the season started, because
Maybe.
they went out and got Arenado, and they have young pitching and
Flaherty was out for like most of the year.
Right.
Like
And,
if not all the year, he was out for a big majority of it, and he's their ace.
Right. Yeah, I mean, honestly, baseball's a lot like hockey. You come in hot, man.
Yep.
Anything could happen. I like the Cardinals this year. I really do. Who else is in the NL? So you got the Giants who won the West.
Yep. And then the Brewers who won the Central.
Brewers, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I think, it's going to be a lot of fun this year. It really is. Especially with the fans back. It's going to be dramatic. And I love me some drama.
Absolutely. It's going to be really fun to watch. I'm excited. Just wish the Phillies could have got there. You know what I mean? It sucks that it ended the way it did. But who am I kidding? The Phillies wouldn't have done shit against any of these teams.
No, it's true. But like I said, if they would have won the games earlier in the year, and they somehow would have gotten in that Marlins series, you win 2 or 3, or you sweep Marlins hypothetically, you go in hot. You never know. I mean, like I said, I just wanted them to make the playoffs. I didn't even care if they got swept. I mean, I say that now. But I would have been pissed off if they got swept. But even if they get swept, or if they would have lost, it still would have been fun to have an extra 3 or 4 or 5 games or whatever. Obviously, a Red October is a lot of fun. Was a lot of fun. It's been a while.
Yeah, I don't remember what it feels like.
Yeah,
it's been so long.
For sure.
So,
hopefully next year.
Yeah, well, we've been saying that the last few. I feel like.
Yeah, but every year we get closer and closer.
Right.
3 years ago we fell apart in August. Last year we fell apart in the last series of the season, and then this year, we were in it until the end again. So
right. I mean,
winning season this year.
Right. Yeah, for a team that had expectations going in, and maybe not World Series expectations, but like they should have made the playoffs with this roster.
Right.
There really aren't many positives that come out of a season like this. I mean, for me, there's 2. You could argue 3 positives that came out of the season. 1, I already said it was Bryce Harper. 2, the emergence of Ranger Suarez. I think he's been tremendous. His last 21 innings he's threw in the season were scoreless to end the year. And then the 3rd, Zach Wheeler, and he tailed off towards the end. But the first half,
he kind of had a bounce back a little bit too at the end.
Yep. But those are probably my 3 positives going into the next year. I don't really have much after that.
I would say Reese is somewhat of a positive because he had aside from being hurt, he was on pace to have a monster year. He got better defensively as the season went on too.
And you saw when he went down, the offense was anemic. The offense was
of
terrible.
Course, yeah. I would agree. I kind of wish that this weekend they would have played like Bohm and those kind of guys just to get at bats. When it was over, I mean, against the Marlins the last weekend.
Yep.
Just to kind of get some at bats in, but I don't know. I mean,
he needs to get right. I mean,
I am so far from writing him off right now. So, and I know the whole city. Yeah, I know the whole city has written him off, or majority of it. I don't think we have. I know I haven't. I don't think you have either.
I haven't. No.
Right. So I'm not ready to write him off yet. Let's see what he does next year. Let's see how he bounces back. I think we're
incredibly impatient in this city. I mean, the same people that wrote him off are probably writing like Devontae Smith off already.
Right.
It's insane.
We're definitely Bohm stands here.
Yeah. I wouldn't go that far.
I'm definitely a Bohm stand. Nah, but no, I just think he's still got a lot of potential. I think he's playing winter ball this year too.
Is he?
Yeah. So I see the first comment here.
He sucks. Yeah.
It's so far from being.
Well, he's terrible this year.
He was terrible this year.
He sucked this year.
But
he was very good last year.
I said it on an episode before. Go look at Mike Schmidt's stats from his first year and a half. It'll shock you. He's not Mike Schmidt.
You got to stop comparing people to Mike Schmidt.
He's not Mike Schmidt. I'm not saying that. I'm saying the greatest third baseman of all time. Go look at his first year and a half. I think he had 18 homers in his first year.
Right.
And that was his second year. So, because he came up halfway through his rookie year, but
I just think there's so many games. There's so many aspects of his game that he needs to get better at. The power, the contact,
hold the ball,
and his defense. I mean, all
absolutely. But that's the thing is he's only been up here for a year and a half.
Sure,
really a year because he came up halfway last year,
right?
And he only played halfway this year. So he's only been here for a year. Like let's give the kid a shot to develop a little bit here. Like I'm just saying, go look at some of the greatest players of all time. Like, and I'm not saying he is the greatest player of all time, but go look at their stats the first couple of years. Like, it's an adjustment. It really, really is. I mean, it's the hardest sport to play. I mean, you know, hitting a 95 mile an hour fastball is the hardest thing to do in sports. Like, you know, so I definitely think he needs a fair shot next year. And I feel like they kind of kept him around for a while this year too.
They did, yeah. Like yes and no, because at the same time, I didn't really expect them to send him down.
Right.
So
I think it was the right move. I mean,
it was at the time.
You get him you still get him at bats while it's not hurting your team. But yeah, man, we're just writing guys off so quick here.
Yep.
So quick, and it's because like I guess just athletes in general today, like go look at Jerry Rice and Calvin Johnson's rookie year stats. Like you'd be blown away.
Yeah, they weren't good.
They're not good at all.
No, yep.
But they're two of the top 10 greatest receivers ever. You know what I'm saying?
They're 1 in 5, 1 in 4.
Right.
Yeah.
So everybody just needs to chill out a little bit here.
Right. No, I agree with you. But at the same time, I need to see an improvement from him next year.
No, absolutely, and I absolutely
have
agree.
to.
And if next year comes and the same thing happens, all right, fine. You know, everybody was right and he sucks, but I'm not ready to say that yet. That's all.
Right.
Let's see him make the adjustment.
Yeah, I agree. I want to move on to some Eagles.
Actually, I have a quick MLB stat real quick.
Yeah, go
a
for
pretty cool stat. So the MLB put out there list of outfielders to reach 100 runs, 40 doubles, 35 RBIs, and 100 walks.
I did see this. Yep.
Okay. Babe Ruth twice, Barry Bonds, Stan Musial, and your MV3, Bryce Harper.
Yep. There you go.
So you know, I think he's got it.
It's a lock, I would say.
Yeah. I hope so. We're going to be pretty pissed off when we find out. If
before we move on to the Eagles, do you think Wheeler has a chance to win Cy Young or no? No,
I think Wheeler's
I was gonna say that makes it even more embarrassing that they missed the playoffs if they would have had an MVP winner and a Cy Young winner in the same year.
Right.
But
no, I don't. I think Bueller's going to get it.
Think so? Yeah, probably.
So,
all right,
over 100 wins in a wild card. It's crazy, right?
Yeah, I know. Maybe Kapler wasn't the issue with what he's doing with the Giants over there.
I really don't know. I don't know. Let's see what he does in the playoffs.
Yeah.
If they get swept in 3, then fuck him. You know what I mean?
It depends on the moves that he would make in the series.
I guess.
You know what I mean? Because managers don't really control that much in baseball. You know, they could lose 3 in a row and it's nothing on him. The manager.
That's
you know what I mean?
I wouldn't say. There's a way bigger shot of it being on him if they lose than if they win. Like managers put out a lineup and if he makes the wrong bullpen decision, it loses. I would say there's a high percentage of the reason why teams lose is because of their manager.
Right.
It's definitely a higher.
Oh,
percentage
sure,
of
yeah,
winning.
they lose more games than they win.
Right.
Yeah.
So.
All right, let's move on to the Eagles. They lost another one, 42-30 to the Chiefs. Go 1-3 on the year. I'm not surprised. I picked them. I picked Chiefs with the spread. Like I didn't think they had enough. I'll tell you what. I think they showed more fight and more heart than the Dallas game.
Okay.
I thought the offense looked pretty damn good. Jalen Hurts impressed me after he looked terrible against Dallas. He still made a couple bad throws, but like that's gonna happen. He's going to. What was your takeaways from the game?
I was kind of shocked. It was as close as it is, even though it was 42-30. But
the last touchdown was garbage time.
Right.
The score with like 4 seconds left or something like that.
Yeah.
Good throw and a good play to set the touchdown up. It was a good drive, but just garbage time. So something to keep in mind.
Right. Yeah. So I'm actually on the exact opposite. Hurts did not impress me at all.
Really?
No, not at all.
I thought he looked a lot better than Dallas.
Well, yeah, he did, but
not a high bar to set.
No. So here's the thing. Week 1, and I said it last week. Week 1, they did a lot of short passes, a lot of things. That got the receivers a lot of yards after the catch. Then week 2 and 3, Dallas and San Francisco stopped that. Now this week, if you saw, the Chiefs, they said you can have 10 yards and we'll give you the 10 yards. You can have it. Everything was short pass. I bet you if you looked at how many passes were thrown, like 25 yards or more in the air, it wouldn't be a lot. It was all dink and dunk, short screen passes, short.
But there's a reason for that.
Right, because he can't throw deep
Exactly.
because he stinks. Right.
Okay. Yeah,
But him throwing 5 yards and the receiver running 30 yards, it's not Jalen Hurts.
okay.
at all.
I mean, that's fair. That's fair, and
It happened a lot on Sunday.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong, and maybe I should be giving more credit to Sirianni then for the offense looking as good as it did.
I will tell you this about Sirianni. I think, okay, as much as I think that Hurts stinks, I do think that a young quarterback needs time. As where a young coach, I think the complete opposite. It's either you can coach or you can't, in my opinion. I don't care if you're a first-year coach or a 10-year or 30-year coach.
I think you can learn. I think you can learn.
If you've been coaching for as long as he has, I disagree.
Maybe not X's and O's, but I think you can learn in what areas to run to do certain stuff, if that makes sense. I know it's probably vague, but over time you learn what you can and can't get away with in certain scenarios.
I guess that's somewhat true. It's unfair to kind of critique him on his first year, but in that sense. But I do, with me saying that I would hold him more accountable in his first year than I would Jalen Hurts' first year starting every week. I do have to say, this week they did come out and change things up.
Right.
They like last week. It didn't seem like going from last week to this week he was that stubborn. You know what I'm saying? Like, he wasn't so stubborn to the fact that, like, he's not going to change anything up. He definitely changed a little bit up this week.
Right. One thing, and I see a comment here, we need to run the ball.
I completely agree.
What is going on with Miles Sanders? Does he exist?
And that's the thing. Even if you're not going to run the ball, at least throw it to him. Like, he's your best. He's probably outside of Goddard and Smith isn't there yet, but Sanders is arguably your best weapon, right?
Yes.
With the ball in his hands.
Yes, I think a lot of it is instead of running the ball, they're using the little short passes to running backs, and Gainwell's just better at catching the ball than Sanders.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
They're using Gainwell a lot in their short little dink and dunk passes that are basically just acting as runs.
Yeah, but it's not runs like that. Like that's like, and I understand, and I know you're using what he said,
right?
But so this is not me arguing with you. It's me arguing with Sirianni. Like, how can you say, yeah, we're gonna do RPOs and that counts as a run? No, it doesn't. Like, if you didn't run the ball, it doesn't count as a run. Like,
right.
It's literally common sense. Like, I don't know. Next week, if they don't run the ball, that's what I'm saying. Like, with the Sirianni thing, like it's not. It's his first year, but it doesn't take a genius to run the ball. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why I think we do hold him accountable, because you should be running the ball, because you have Jordan Howard should be on this roster. They should be running the ball with 3 guys. Like, it shouldn't all be on Sanders, but you have to get Sanders the ball somehow.
Dude, remember during our season preview when you asked me what my most excited thing that I'm looking out for in the season, and I said the Eagles' run game.
Yeah.
There's times where I forget Miles Sanders is on the roster.
Yeah,
I just do.
I mean, and they're not even using him in the red zone.
Right.
They're using Gainwell in the red zone, and
yep.
And that's another thing, is they don't run the ball inside the 5. Like,
no, they don't.
What is going on?
Or even with Hurts, you even have Hurts run.
Like, anything, run the ball. Like,
yep.
They'll go 3 plays and throw the ball. Like,
I know.
First down, you run the ball. It doesn't work. Okay, second down, if you want to throw the ball, throw the ball. Third down, you'll run the ball. You got to run at least twice, at least. If you're inside the 3. But yeah, I don't get it. I mean, all off season, we said it for the last couple of weeks. All off season, we've heard about he's going to run the ball and pound the ball and pound the ball and pound the ball. And now there's 3 running backs on the roster and 1 doesn't even play. So it just doesn't make sense. Like, Dallas last week ran the ball down Carolina's throat, and that's who we play next week.
Yep.
Do I expect them to run the ball? No, I don't actually. No. But they should. It's frustrating, man. It's really, really frustrating. Why are we gonna drop a guy back that can't throw the football that many times? It doesn't make sense to me. It really doesn't.
Yeah, no, it really doesn't. Trying to think if I thought of any other takeaways on offense, because there were a lot to talk about. I thought the offensive line looked good for what they were.
Yeah, for the backups.
You lose Lane Johnson to a personal decision. Apparently, that's still up in the air. Nobody knows what's going on with him. for Sunday. But
And I actually kind of want to touch on that real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
If it is something that's very serious, like a death in the family or something along those lines, I really hope that we can respect that. But if it's some dumb shit, like I'm gonna be so fucking pissed off.
Yeah, I don't want to speculate. I mean, I know I already have. I know I already have with I'm pretty sure he got caught with some PEDs again.
Stop it.
So
stop it. That's that. Everybody, that is just Mike being an asshole. It's not any dropping news or anything.
No, it's not
any breaking news.
I'm just listen. If I had to put money on it, that's what I would say would happen.
I just, dude, it's been like 6 years. Like
no, it hasn't been that long.
2015 or 2016 rather.
Okay, all right. It's 5 years.
5 years ago. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm not a math guy, so.
What was the second time doing it? Wasn't it?
Probably, but still, it was 5 years. Like.
All right.
But
15 run plays in 2 weeks. Yeah, I mean that's terrible, right?
Yeah.
That should be double. Maybe triple. Like
yeah. I
with
mean,
this offense.
And the fact that they have to throw the ball so much. We talked about. Honestly, we didn't even talk about this yet. The fact that he overthrew Ertz for a touchdown early on the first drive. It was like 10 feet in the air over his head. Like it's just like simple throws like he can't make. And I don't want to keep crushing the kid because sure he had 300 yards, whoop-de-da-do. So does Matt Stafford in Detroit, and he goes 7-9 every year. Great, he puts up great stats, but he doesn't win the game. So
sure. And he did have one horrendous throw.
He made two horrendous plays. One was a horrendous throw, and the other one was he got lucky.
Are you talking about the fumble?
Yeah. He got lucky
the fumble at the end of the half. The Chiefs should have had points on the board, and then the interception that or should have been interception,
right?
But it hit the ground and wasn't. But
see, that's the thing. Like all these people, he didn't turn the ball over. Yeah, he almost did twice. He got lucky twice.
Yeah, for sure.
He turned the ball over twice last week, and I will say that's the one thing about him that I've liked about his game is that he doesn't turn the ball over much. But it's twice in 2 weeks where he's almost turned the ball over twice. I mean, it's very frustrating for a guy that can't throw the ball much. We don't run enough, and
right.
It's just going to be like this all year. I really feel it.
Yep. Now on to the defensive side of the ball. Speaking of run, the Eagles can't stop the run to save their life.
And he sure did have 300 yards against the worst defense in the league. Thank you. Go ahead.
They are a horrendous defense.
They're terrible. I told you they'll let you get yards, and then when you're in the 20, they're going to stop you.
Yep.
Sorry, go ahead.
So the defense, the Eagles can't run the ball. They're the third worst run defense in the NFL right now. They're letting up 150 rushing yards per game. The defense, the rushing defense stinks. What is Graham can't be that big of a loss, that important to where you're this bad.
Yeah,
where's Fletcher's cock?
Yeah, I don't know. Fletcher's looking for his cock. Yeah, so I don't think Brandon. I think Brandon Graham is a big loss. He can't be that big of a loss, like
Not
you
this
said.
big.
But I'm curious what their numbers, the run defense, the first 2 weeks, because I feel like they really stopped the run the first 2 weeks, and then this week and last week were brutal. If you have those numbers in front of you,
I don't have them in front of me. I'm sure I can find them.
But I really feel like they stopped the run in the first 2 weeks, and they really struggled the last 2 weeks. Maybe that is Brandon Graham. He was going to be a big loss, and obviously in the running game, but I can't imagine it's this much.
Right. Yeah, I can't really find it right now.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I have a little nugget here about the passing game if you want to get into that.
Oh yeah, we can get into that. I was looking. All right, so first, I got it. So the first week, they rushed for the Falcons rushed for 347 yards.
No.
Yep.
Against the Eagles.
Yep.
That's impossible.
Hold on. Never mind. That was for the season. Hold on. Hold on.
I was going to say.
Fuck it.
I was going to say,
well, it's
347 yards.
Yeah, it's fine. We'll cut that out. It's fine. Just move on. Go to your passing game because I can't find it.
Okay. My favorite part of the day was number 50 covering Tyreek Hill all game. It's comical. It's really comical. And I really don't want to. I don't want to get too much into Jonathan Gannon too much because I feel like the first 2 weeks he really game planned well, and then the last 2 weeks you're going against two top 5 offenses on paper probably in the Cowboys and the Chiefs. So let's slow down a little bit there too.
Right.
Again, I'm not anointing him anything. You know, they play Carolina next week. If he gets lit up by Carolina, and Carolina is a very good team, but if he gets lit up by like Carolina and Denver and Washington, like, all right, we could start lighting him on fire. But you know, right now he's 2-2 in good defensive games and bad defensive games. So you know, the jury's still out on him a little bit. Let's just pump the brakes a bit because
Right.
I've seen a lot of Gannett and Heat. He literally played the greatest offense of all time this week. So
they are nasty,
maybe
aren't they?
aside from the greatest show on turf, the Rams, the Chiefs are definitely up there.
Right.
So
Week 1 against the Falcons, because I was still going to look this up.
Okay.
They Patterson had 54 yards, Davis had 49 yards, Smith had 13, and Ryan had 8. So that's what, about 120? They had about 120, give or take.
Say it again.
49,
Yep.
54,
Yep.
13, and 8.
Yeah, 124.
Yeah.
It's not terrible in the sense that Patterson I believe had one big rush, like one play was like a huge run, but it's really not that bad considering that it was between 4 guys.
Right. And then against San Fran, Mitchell had 42, Hasty had 38, Garoppolo had fucking 20.
He had a big
Samuel
run,
had Samuel had 8, Sermon had 8.
It's not terrible. It's not. I mean, it's not as good as I thought it was, but
All right. They're still letting up over 100 yards a game.
but then compare what Zeke did last week and what they did this week, you know, the Kansas City. So I'm sure the numbers are, and I could be totally wrong, but I'm sure the numbers are way up compared to those.
Elliott had 95, Pollard had 60.
Yeah.
So it's 150 yards right there.
Right.
So, yeah, either way, yeah, they definitely didn't give up 347 yards in week 1.
Yeah.
I'm a dumbass. It's fine. So, back to the defense. I know we mentioned, like, I know I made a joke. Fletcher Cox has to be better. Like, I don't understand what his issue is. I mean, he's been disappointing. I really feel like for the last couple years. But this year in particular, I just don't notice him.
Okay, so I got something on him too.
Okay.
Brandon Lee Gouton tweeted on Sunday night, Fletcher Cox logged no stats against the Chiefs this week.
Yep.
He has 1 sack and 1 QB hit through his last 8 games.
Yeah.
Burnt toast.
Yep.
That's what he is. He's done. I mean, and I love Fletcher. He's one of my all-time favorite Eagles. Definitely from this era. Probably my second or third favorite from this era. He's done. They probably should have traded him. This
He did as
offseason.
much. He did as much as the punters did on Sunday.
The punter's the best player.
He didn't have to punt the
Right,
ball.
right. But he's been their best player this whole year.
Yeah, he has been the best Aussie in the city.
And I
That's
still
for sure.
exactly. And I still don't know his name.
Sippis.
Yeah, that's what it is. Aaron Sippis.
Aaron
With a
Sippis.
Y.
It's
Aaron with a
Aaron.
Y?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's a dumb name.
Aaron with a Y.
Yeah, I hate it.
So, any other takeaway? Offense, defense, anything about this game? This game was very similar to the Dallas game in a sense. You couldn't stop the defense. You were a little better on offense when it comes to putting up points. But it just reminded me of that game. So I don't really know how much of a takeaway I have because it's the same exact game.
Right. And like I said, my favorite part, number 50 covering Tyreek Hill the whole game. Like a linebacker on Tyreek, especially in the red zone. Like, what are we doing here? It's mind-boggling. It really, really is. And that's what you get when you put no-name linebackers and no-name fucking safeties on the field. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't. You can't just throw random guys out there. Like, and that's the thing is I'm not a Schwartz fan, really. I think he had a lot of his issues. But the one thing that he did do well was he held teams with guys nobody heard of. So, and even that was an issue to a certain degree. But man,
can we get him back? I never thought I'd say it. I want Schwartz back.
Right. Man, it's brutal. It's brutal out here. I'm already looking at mock drafts.
We're at that point. What did the guy from Ole Miss do? Didn't he play Alabama this?
Yeah, I didn't look up the stats, but just the eye test. Wasn't impressed. I'm on the Wilson train.
Okay, Wilson. All right.
Yeah, neither was the kid from
Carson
Nevada.
Strong.
Yeah. I mean, one played the best NFL team,
Right,
You
yeah.
know, and the other one, there's some issues about his game that I didn't realize. But can he be a good quarterback? Sure. I'm no expert, so I'm just
Right.
going by what the experts are telling me that these two guys are the top two. So
Right.
we'll see.
Yeah, and I think I read they're projected to have picks 5, 7, and 9 if the season ended today.
Yes.
So I mean, they can get 3 top 10 picks. That would be
Yeah.
nasty.
But do you really are you really that excited for it?
No, because it's Howie picking him.
Right.
So.
And I don't think there's any way he leaves this year. So
No chance.
Yeah.
I'm convinced he might never leave.
Yeah.
Ever.
yeah,
He's going to be the Eagles general manager until Jeffrey Lurie eventually passes away.
yeah.
Like, that's-
He might become the owner, but
he might. Yeah, he might.
But
It's
somebody
probably going to be in
somebody-
Jeffrey. It's probably going to be in Lurie's will.
Right.
Howie Roseman gets the Philadelphia Eagles.
to the front of the paper.
Yeah.
So somebody told me a while ago, not a while ago. I'd say back in a couple months ago. It's actually somebody in our family. I can't name names, but newsflash, we're cousins. But somebody said there's no way Howie gets fired because he mouth fucks Jeffrey Lurie in the back office.
I know who you're talking about.
No, you don't actually. It's not
No,
who
I
you're
don't.
thinking it is.
No?
No.
Okay.
It's not shocking, but kind of shocking at the same time. But we were in the car and just driving. Like he's like yeah. He's like, they'll never get rid of him because he just mouth fucks Jeffrey Lurie in the back office. I was like, what the fuck's going on right now?
That's a visual I didn't need today on his
Just
Monday night.
mouth fuck. Like it
Yeah.
doesn't make it. Like, it's just fucking stupid.
All right, where do I go from there? What do you want to talk about next?
Fletcher's cock, mouth fucking. What?
Okay. You know what? We had wet pussy last week, and now we're going
Yes.
with mouth fucking. All right. Anyway, we'll move on here. What's want to do the against the spread picks?
Yeah, let's do it. Fuck, I forgot my paper. Shit.
God damn it! Do you have your picks?
Uh,
Oh
I
shit, we're
do.
gonna wing it here.
I do. Just not on me. Oh gosh, fantastic.
Dom,
We're pros.
we go live every Monday
know.
at 9:00.
I know it. No, I got you. I'll figure it
Or
out.
do you want
first.
to do trivia
What happened
first
last
to buy
week?
you some time?
No, I got you. We could do the
Okay.
against the spread first. But what were the records for last week? I
So-
don't even remember what I picked last week.
I have them here. Let me pull them up. You've actually picked the Monday night game that's going on tonight. So
Okay.
so yours isn't finished yet. Which I think that game got delayed because of because of lightning, and the game. I think it's in a dome. I don't know how a game can get suspended because of lightning in a dome,
Fuck.
but whatever. Doesn't make any sense to me. So I went 2-3. You're currently 3-1.
Okay.
So my record is 7-13, and yours is 11-8 currently.
Okay.
So you're kicking my ass right now.
All
I
right.
like it. I guess I'll go first, so this way I could buy you a little more time.
No, I got you. I got the paper right here, actually.
The-
No, we're all good.
What- Did you just pull that out of your ass?
Possibly. It's magic.
Was the paper Doctor Strange? Did you just
It
tell
was.
just
It was. Yeah,
went
maybe.
from one portal to another?
Maybe, man. I don't know. We'll have to see. Or maybe I just have a really good assistant here
Yeah.
helping me out.
Is that your fiance? Is that who that was?
I can't name names.
You can't. Yeah, that's
No.
fine. It's,
Might be Fletcher's cock. I don't know.
it might be. Anyway, I'll go first.
All right. Wait, we got it. We got it.
There you go.
All right, we're good.
The co-host is back to make
Yep.
an appearance.
Let's go.
The beer assistant.
There you go. Just
There you
take
go.
a shot. We should take a
Yeah.
shot of something every single time.
I got water with me. That's all I
Yeah.
got. So I'll go first. So we didn't talk about it much. Next week's game against the Carolina Panthers. I went against the Eagles last week with the Chiefs minus 7.5, and I was correct. This week, I'm actually going with the Eagles plus 3.5 against the Carolina
Okay.
Panthers.
Do you think they can win that game?
They can, yeah.
Okay.
I don't think they will, but I think they keep it close enough to where I'm comfortable getting the
For
points.
sure. For sure. All right, so you got Carolina plus. I mean,
No,
Eagles
Eagles.
plus 3.5.
Plus 3.5 to Carolina. I don't think
Okay.
Carolina's that good. I just don't. I don't know.
I think they're good, but they haven't really played anybody except the Cowboys yet. So like, it's still.
Right.
I think Darnold's playing out of his mind, but more than I
he's
thought he
alright.
was.
Yeah, he's all right.
But I mean, he's been fairly well this year, playing fairly well this year. All right, so my first game, I got the Browns versus the Chargers. I got the Browns -1. It's a little,
Okay,
it's a
I was
little-
looking at that. It's a iffy line. I didn't like it.
Yeah, I hear you. I just don't see that being a 1-point game either way, and I just kind of feel like it'll go in the Browns' favor a little bit.
Panthers by 20.
Okay.
No confidence in the Philadelphia Eagles
I
today,
think
huh?
before they played the Cowboys, they were like the best rushing defense in the league, and then Zeke
Right.
just fucking took a giant shit on them.
Yeah, he did.
But
So, all right. So my next one is I got the Cowboys. I don't know how this isn't a bigger line. -7 against the New York Giants.
okay, I like it so much that I have the same thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
how is that line only -7?
Yeah.
I mean, they're gonna win by 75.
It's a division game. It's a division game
care.
too.
The Giants are terrible.
Yeah, but they might be terrible against other teams, but like they're always you're always gonna play your division hard. It's really tough
I
to
don't
take division games in
Fucking
the spread.
Giants.
Okay.
All right, so you have them as well. So
Yes.
I'll move on to my next one. I will take the Colts +7 against the Baltimore Ravens.
You fucking asshole. I have the same thing.
Do you have the same thing?
Yep. They might not win, but
All right. well,
I feel like the Colts will stay in it enough.
so we have two games that are same. One's different.
Yep.
And then we can move on to the over-unders. I have the New Orleans Saints and the Washington football team under 44.5.
Okay. I have. Should I give you my over or under first? Because I have one.
It doesn't matter.
one
Whatever
each.
you want. Whatever.
All right, I'll go my unders. I'll go Titans Jaguars under 48.5.
Okay. I was looking at that.
Yeah.
What's going on with the Tennessee and why did they lose to the Jets? I don't get it.
They didn't have any receivers.
I don't care.
Literally, I'm just saying.
Derrick Henry should have ran for 7,000 yards.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe ask Mike Vrabel. Mike
Yeah.
Vrabel. Whatever the fuck.
What was that? Under 48.5?
Yeah.
All right.
Dude,
Then-
you hear him and Julio like don't like each other.
Really?
Yeah. Like, cause so Julio's the type of guy he'll make a big play and he'll like take a play off, two off. And, like Vrabel's not like that. Like he doesn't like that
He's
shit.
a diva.
Right.
He's a
Well,
diva
he's
wide receiver.
rightfully so to like catch a 60-yard pass and be like, yeah, guys, I'll sit this one out. Like
Wow, rightfully so. How he hasn't won shit in this league.
he
was great. Sure, he was great.
Yeah, he's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, but
I'm just saying.
gotta win. Gotta win before you have that attitude.
Like, did Calvin win anything? Is like Calvin allowed to do that?
No, he's
Devontae
not.
Adams?
Nope.
Oh, see, now you're just being an asshole.
Well, that's par for the course. So then in my over, I have the San Francisco 49ers and the Arizona, I almost said Coyotes. My mind's in hockey mode. Arizona Cardinals over 50.5.
Okay.
Because anytime there's an Arizona game, they just go over.
I told you, because they score 100 points and they give up 100 points. So,
Right.
yeah.
So I have that game.
My over is, so I got an over. It's Bills versus Chiefs over 56.5.
Okay, I like it.
Yeah. It's going to be a shootout. But I also thought the New England game was going to be a shootout, and it was definitely slow.
Absolutely. Yeah, I thought Brady was going to throw for like 7 touchdowns.
Yeah.
But I guess if you're Belichick and you've coached Brady so long, you know how to defend him, I guess.
Right.
You know what I mean? You know his tendencies.
Yeah.
So what was that over under? 58.5?
56.5.
56.5. All right. I'll write those down. So there you go. We can't have much movement because we picked 2 of the same games. So
Right.
it's whatever. It's fine. I'll make a comeback eventually.
We'll see, man. It's week 4 or week 5 coming up.
Right. All right. Let's do trivia before we jump into the Flyers, and there's really not much Sixers talk, but
Okay.
let's jump into some trivia here.
Okay, so I actually have 3 Eagles this week and 2 Flyers. So let's start with the Eagles because we're
Okay.
gonna get into the Flyers.
Okay.
So yeah, we'll start off with the Eagles. So, anybody listening, just if you have the audio, just hit the pause button after I ask the question.
I like the shot here in the comments. The ball wasn't flat enough for him to throw. Talking about Brady.
Oh yeah. Okay, so we got the Eagles. The first question: can you name? And nobody in the comments help Mike out.
Why not? You know what? We're gonna do the honor system. I'll turn the comments off on my screen. I won't see the comments. They're gone. I
Okay.
just turned them off. All right. There you go.
I mean, I'm trusting you.
You can trust me.
All right.
I promise.
I don't know if I can, but
I turned the comments off. We're fine.
all right. So the first Eagles question: can you name the only player in Eagles history to win the NFL MVP?
The only player in Eagles history to win the NFL MVP.
Or league MVP.
Right. That's a tough one. I'm going to say, because I mean, it should have been Carson before he got hurt. So I know he didn't win it. It was Brady that year. I don't think Donovan did, but those teams were good. I don't think Terrell Owens did. I'm gonna go Donovan McNabb.
Is that your final answer?
That's my final answer.
It is not.
No, it was
This.
Is it from somebody from like the '60s? And I'm
Yeah.
gonna punch you in the throat.
Norman Van Brocklin, baby.
Yeah, okay, yeah, fair enough. Whatever.
That's why I saw that. And I was like, all right, you might not get it, but like it's a fair question.
Yeah, it is, but it's whatever.
Just gotta think about it, man. You gotta
Yeah,
think
from
about it.
1960. It's whatever.
1960.
Close enough.
Okay. Speaking of Donovan McNabb,
Okay.
can you name the college Donovan McNabb attended?
Syracuse.
Is that your final answer?
Final answer.
It is true. That is right. Correct. True, false, correct, wrong. I don't know. Now you
Close
got it.
enough.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. So my last Eagles question. Jake Elliott has moved into the top 6 all-time career scoring leaders for the Eagles this weekend, passing Brian Westbrook. Can you name 2 of the top 5 players in the all-time career scoring leaders for the Eagles?
Wow. Deshaun Jackson.
Okay.
Is he there?
No.
Fuck.
You're so confident.
Somebody that we actually should have mentioned with Eagles talk, because he retired as an Eagle. I'm gonna Shady McCoy.
No.
No, he's not on there either.
No.
I fucking suck.
I'll give you one more shot. Somebody's on here that you've named
Quick?
a couple times. No.
Carmichael.
Yeah, Carmichael's on
Okay.
there. But you got it wrong.
Yeah, I get it wrong. Name me 1 through whatever it was. That's fine.
Number 5, Steve Van Buren. Number 4, Harold Carmichael. Number 3, Sam Baker.
I don't
Number
know who the
2,
fuck that
Bobby
is.
Walston.
Don't know who that is either.
Yeah, no, me neither. And number 1 is David Akers.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. I kind of tried to give you like the toss up with Jake Elliott, thinking
Right.
maybe you'd get it, but
Yeah.
you didn't.
Okay. No, I did not.
No.
That's fair. It's whatever. It's fine. We'll move on here. Oh, we have a comment, but I can't see it because I got my comments turned off. God damn it.
All right, so we're gonna go in the Flyers since we're gonna talk about Flyers hockey soon.
Okay. Hopefully, I get these 2 right. What
yeah.
am I right now? 1 and 2. All right. Let's go.
Yeah,
Let's finish
1
off
and
strong.
3.
1, 4, 3, but 1 and 2.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So the Flyers. In 2002, this Flyer was only second in plus minus in the NHL, only to Chris Chelios. Who was this Flyer?
2002.
Second in plus minus, just behind Chris Chelios, in the league.
Eric Desjardins is my first guess. Is my first thought. So I'm gonna go him.
So your final answer?
Yeah.
Incorrect.
I don't think he was here yet, though. Was he? Right around
No,
that
I think
time.
he was here. I think he was
Yeah.
like 98, 99,
Yeah.
and
So who was it?
it was Simone Gagne, actually.
Really? You just
Yeah.
don't see forwards
Right.
like usually at the top of that list. That's why I went defenseman.
I actually thought you were gonna go Desjardins.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I started listening to Riley Cote's podcast, and I went back a little bit to January of 2021 when he actually interviewed Gagne, and it's actually a really
really?
good episode. Yeah. I listened to that one. I listened to the Steve Mason one.
Okay.
That was from a couple weeks ago.
We'll pull back the curtain a little bit. Dom's been trying to get Riley
Yeah.
Cote as a guest on the show.
Yeah.
And Cote's he's leaving him on red.
Yeah.
is what's going on.
He
yeah.
responded to me, so he ghosted me basically.
He did ghost you. Yeah.
So he didn't only leave me on red. He ghosted me.
He did. He
So-
did ghost you.
I feel like a high school girl right now.
Yeah.
My heart kind of hurts a little bit because
A little bit.
I have a special relation and I have a special connection with Riley Cote, and I want to tell him about it, but he won't come on our show.
Come on the show, Riley Cote.
Yes,
it's fine.
Even though he's not listening, there's zero chance he'd listen to the show. But come on, Riley. I mean, I would say I would fight you, but I can't because you would kick my.
You don't
ass,
want
but-
that fight. Yeah,
No,
you
I
don't want
don't.
that.
I don't.
That'd be a bad idea.
I'm just kidding.
That would be
I'm
a
just
bad
kidding.
idea.
Um,
There should be
yeah,
a knock
so-
at your
so-
front door now.
Yeah, man.
I'll cut up this whole conversation of us talking about Riley Cote. I'll send it to him. We'll
Right.
see if that helps.
No.
All right?
Rather, I don't want to fight you. I want to love you, and I want you to be on our show because
now you just sound creepy.
Yeah.
I want to love you.
Hey, I mean, like I said, I feel like a high school girl right now. I get ghosted, and I tell him I love him.
Yeah,
So,
I know.
All right. Next question. In 2004, the Flyers made it to the Eastern Conference Finals, only to lose to the Tampa Bay Lightning. Who led the Flyers in playoff scoring with 9 goals? He also had 16 points.
This was in 2004.
Yep.
That's a good question. I remember the playoffs, and I specifically remember that series because I was so heartbroken when they lost in Game 7.
Of course.
It was brutal. I remember exactly where I was when it happened, but I don't remember the details like that. I'm gonna also go with Gagne.
Is that your final answer?
That's my final answer.
It's not Gagne, man.
No.
I gave you the curveball. I wanted to see if you would step up in the box and crush it to left field, but
Is it Recchi?
it was not Recchi. It was Keith Primo.
Okay. I should have gotten that.
He's in our intro.
Right.
So I thought
Yeah.
maybe. maybe.
And he was like one of my favorite players growing up.
Oh,
So
for sure.
I should have got that. So.
That was my first Flyers jersey.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, Primo was awesome.
Yeah. Black Primo. I think I might still have it somewhere. But it was signed by Bob Kelly and Dave Schultz.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, went to the year they played Buffalo in the playoffs, and R.J. Umberger practically died.
Yeah, that was such a hard hit.
Yeah. Yeah, I've talked
about Belly Up Sports and our partnership with them. They have a podcast called The Garage Beers. They're a podcast based out of Ohio. And they had RJ Umberger because
cool.
he was Columbus. They had him on for legit talking for like an hour and a half.
Yeah,
it was a really cool interview. They're an Ohio-based podcast, so a lot of it was him talking about his Columbus days.
Right.
But there was a little bit of his time in Philly, so I
Right.
definitely recommend people checking that out.
Yeah, for sure.
And listening to that because it was really interesting. It was a really cool interview.
Yeah, for sure. But I had the Primo jersey on. My school went to, I forget what grade I was in, maybe like 4th grade or whatever it was. We went to the Orange Crush, where they have like I guess it was like an elephant or something. Like they crush the pumpkins because it's
Okay.
Orange Crush or whatever.
Right.
They crush the pumpkin.
That was
with
like their playoff
Yeah,
slogan or whatever.
yeah. With the pumpkin had like the old like red Sabres logo on it
Okay.
when they were like red and black or whatever.
Yep.
And I remember them crushing the thing, and like Dave Schultz and Bob Kelly were there and got them to sign the Primo jersey, and I still have it somewhere. I just don't know where it's at.
Okay. Yeah, those Sabre teams were fun. They had young Danny Briere on them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Before he was a Flyer.
Yeah.
That was a fun series, fun team for sure.
And talking about podcasts too, real quick. I'm not, and I know I believe you're a big fan of Spit and Chicklets.
Yep.
I'm not crazy about it, only for the sense that I think it's a good show and I like the guys. It's just more the sense that like I can't listen to just any hockey player be interviewed. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like it's got to be a specific guy. Like it's got to be a Flyer that's in my era.
Right.
So I probably couldn't listen to the Talkit one or like older guys because I wouldn't really relate to it much. But like the two that I really love. That I listened to recently were the Pronger and the Mike Richards. I listened to the Mike Richards.
Richards is great.
Yeah, I listened to it when it came out, like in 2019, and then I just listened to it again recently. And man, it really dives into like his time here and like
especially because
Dry
Richards
Island
right, and especially because Richards is a guy that was like very reserved and hated the media and didn't want to talk. To hear him come on a podcast where you don't typically hear him,
right.
Was really interesting.
He was on the
a
Cote.
really good interview.
He was on the Cote podcast.
Was he really?
A couple
I'll have
episodes
to go
ago.
back and listen. To that.
It wasn't as in depth as the Spit and Chicklets one, but it was still good. He talked about the same things basically. I don't think he went too much into Laviolette, but he just kind of like went over like how he started playing hockey and like in Kenora and like how he was drafted. He was kind of didn't expect to really be drafted so high into the OHL. I think it was right. And then his time coming here and then. Winning the Calder Cup coming up. I think he only played 10 games that year and then right into the playoffs. So, it's a really cool listen to
you know
if
who
you're
else,
a Flyers fan.
You know who else was on that podcast that I think you would like because it's current Flyers or not current anymore,
Right.
but
like the last 20 years.
the last year. I mean, one's still here, but Drew was on the podcast.
Okay. Well, I'm saying that as long as it's the last like 20 years, I think
Yeah.
I could really like get it. If it was like Primo or like
Right.
Forsberg or any of the guys that were here while I watched, I think I would really enjoy it.
Right.
But I like Drew, obviously.
They had Drew and they also had Voracek at another time too.
Yeah, I don't know if I would listen to Voracek, to be honest.
He was actually interesting.
Yeah, I mean, he's
Yeah.
an interesting guy. I like him as a guy. I think he's a good guy. I think I don't know. I never really felt.
I remember. I don't remember his specific music taste, but they talked a lot about music.
Oh, cool.
Because Voracek's a real big music guy.
Oh, cool. Cool.
Yes, there was a lot of talk about. I just forget what his interests were in music. I just remember it was about music.
Yeah.
So check those out because they were good. They were a good listen.
Yeah, I'll have to definitely listen to the Drew one. I think we talked about it before, like our top 5 favorite Flyers. I know we tweeted it before because like that was a thing during COVID or whatever.
Yep.
You tag me in it and then you share it and you tag other
Right.
people. I think my top 5 were like Richards, and again, it's only because like I can't relate to the Perrants and the
Of course,
Clarks
yeah.
or the Tockets or the even the Lindros. Like I can't really relate to those guys. So like because I never really watched them. Lindros was out of here by 2000, so like I
Right.
was 4 years old.
Right.
So, but I would definitely have to say Richards, Timonen, Giroux, Briere, and who was my 5th guy?
I don't remember.
I
I'm
don't
trying
remember.
to. I'm trying to think of my list
Yeah.
too. Mine
Gagne.
probably. Okay, mine probably went something like Lindros, Forsberg, because Forsberg was insane.
Yeah, but he wasn't like much here. He was
No,
done.
he wasn't. No, I actually loved him when he was in Colorado.
Right. He was a great player. It's
He was
just
great. So those two, Primo. I really don't. I don't remember who my other two were.
Richards and Giroux.
Yeah, that might have been it. Honestly,
Okay, I'm just trying to
Yeah.
throw names out. But like,
Yeah. Probably those two.
just and I was talking to somebody recently about this too. It's like Briere wasn't this great player, and Timonen
He really
wasn't this
wasn't.
great player. But like they came up in big moments, and like they played their role so well with the Flyers, like, and that's why I like them. But they're nowhere near like Hall of Famers or anything like that. It's just more of like they played the role so well here that I like them. It's like Hartnell. Like Hartnell, obviously he was a nice player, but like it was just he played his role so well.
Right.
And I think they actually who talks about Hartnell? Oh, Richards. On I think it was on the Spit and Chicklets said Hartnell's a top 5 teammate of his.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I did listen to that when it came out, but I
Yeah,
don't remember.
yeah. Definitely give it another listen.
Yeah,
like
well.
I said, I listened to it when it came out, and then I listened to it again recently, and it was everything it held up to be.
Right. All right. Where were we talking? So we can move on to the Flyers. It's a good transition then. They had a preseason game tonight against Boston.
They won.
They won 2-1.
2-1. So wait, I have a question.
Sure.
So the other night they won 3-1, but then they had a shootout.
Yeah. The preseason's
Okay.
weird.
Okay.
I
thought I was losing my mind.
No. That's just something they did. I think they did it against the Islanders, or was that the Capitals game?
Capitals.
Okay.
Yeah, it's Capitals.
Yeah, it's just something they do, I guess, just to keep the players, I guess, get used to the shootout again.
Yeah.
It's training and yeah. That's
no,
the only
I hear
answer
you.
have.
I was on my way home driving home, and I saw they
It was a
won
long-
3-1.
It was a
and
long
then-
shootout too.
Yeah, it was like 7 rounds or 9 rounds or whatever.
Nine,
Yeah. So I'm driving home and I can see 3-1, and then I turn the radio on and like to listen to like the post game, and like it's like, yeah, we're in round 7 of the shootout. I'm like, what the fuck's going on? Like,
I thought they won 3-1.
yeah. So confused. It was like because he said it in between shots. He's like, yeah, the Flyers won 3-1. Cam Atkinson scored, and this guy scored, and that guy scored. But here's round 7 of the shootout. And I'm like, what the fuck is going
Right.
on? I'm in the upside down.
Right. So we did have drama this week in the NHL world.
Yes.
That involved the Flyers for some reason, kind of came out of left field. So Robin Lehner, who is a goaltender for the Vegas Golden Knights, went on a little Twitter rant a little bit. He's somebody that's been vocal about him struggling with mental health, bipolar.
And he's not he's not a nobody. He's like a top 5, top 10 goalie
Right.
in the league. Like
Yeah.
he's a very good player. Like he's
He's a
not
very
just
good
some
player.
random guy.
Right, but he's always expressed, how the NHL needs to change their ways and things like that. So So I'll read the tweet. It's a 3-part tweet. It's a little long, so bear with me here. Is it common for workplace, and it's also, he's Swedish, I think he is. So it's a little translation's a little, off. But is it common for workplaces to give out I'm not a fucking doctor. Benzodiazepines.
Not a math guy, not a doctor.
Benzodiazepines? Is that
Yeah, I
right?
got you.
To employees when they travel, and Ambien? Should that not be done by doctors or psychiatrists? Asking for a friend. This doesn't happen in Vegas, to be clear, but I know many other teams. I also been on teams that do, ? I don't know what he's trying to say there. And then he responds to that tweet and says, Philadelphia Flyers, dinosaur coach treating people, robots not human. Fire these dinosaurs. Fire Vigneault. First story, I got proof. Try to shake your way out of this one. And they say Ambien is a sleeping pill. It's funny that rehab told me that's why I didn't have REM sleep. 8 years, no REM sleep. Great, yeah, but just sleeping pills.
Dude, he might be a fucking animatronic himself.
Right.
So, what are your thoughts on this? Because I do have some thoughts that I'd like to share.
I think, he backpedaled a little bit the day after, saying he wasn't saying Vigneault was giving players pills. I think that tweet sounds like that's exactly what he's
definitely
accusing him
alludes
of.
to it.
Because he starts with talking about Ambien, then he brings up Vigneault's name, and then he brings up Ambien again for a second time without saying this is a different situation. Like, it was solely talking about Vigneault,
Right.
which is very specific.
Which he has no prior history with Vigneault, right?
Right.
Correct? Like, no
Correct.
coaching, player
He's never played for him.
relationship.
He's never played for him. The only mutual thing you could talk about is Vegas forward Nolan Patrick.
Right. Okay, so this whole thing started with Jack Eichel, right?
Correct. Yeah.
The whole idea of Jack Eichel, where Jack Eichel, the Buffalo Sabres want to have him have like something with his disc, right? And his back.
So he's got a disc in his neck.
Neck. Okay.
Yeah, and they want him to get a fusion,
Which is a 6-month
right
healing process.
It's a quote unquote more common surgery.
Right.
And Jack Eichel has done all the research, has talked to many doctors. He got a second opinion. And that this new doctor, recommended this surgery. It's a artificial disc replacement. It's
Right.
never been done by a major sports.
Right. Nobody in the
States.
NHL. Right. Yeah. No.
Or
no
North
player.
in North
Yeah.
America.
Right.
To begin. Yeah. No. Football, baseball, basketball,
Right.
hockey. Nobody's gotten it done. A couple MMA fighters have gotten it, and they swear by it. They said it was the best decision they've ever made. They
And it's a
great.
6-week
6 to 8
process.
weeks. Yeah.
Yeah.
And once you have the surgery, you're done. Whereas in the fusion surgery, you could have another one in, say, 8 to 10 years.
Right. See, like, my thing is like with this, and we're not trying to get off the Vigneault thing. We'll get back into that in a sec.
Right.
But like, my whole thing with this issue is like, obviously Jack, and I'm not somebody who likes the players running the league that much, but like, at what point, like, Jack Eichel's not going to play for the Sabres anymore. Like, it
Correct.
is what it is, and like,
Yep.
just give him what he wants and trade him away, and you'll never have to deal with him again. Like, if he wants to get that give him the surgery, and it's dirt off your back, dirt off
That
your
thing
hands.
doesn't
Like,
make sense. Is like, he's obviously never going to play for you. Why don't you just give him what he wants? Just this
Right.
way you could get something for
that's
him.
what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
he's never going to be a Sabre again. Like, get that thought out of your mind because it's just not going to happen. So let him have the surgery, and then you trade him. I
Right.
mean, you might not get 75 first-round picks like you wanted, but you might get
Right.
70. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So, it's just very, very weird.
Right. So it stems from Lehner being really upset and sticking up for Jack Eichel, saying this
Right.
isn't right. Let him get the surgery. Why is an organization, controlling this guy's medical history?
Which is crazy because I don't know how the players' union accepts that. But like, obviously, there's
That's
other
in the
things.
CBA. Yeah.
Right, as I'm saying. So obviously, that's what I'm saying. It's crazy that they would think that, but at the same time, it's like they probably get something else in return that won't know about. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
maybe bigger contracts and different kind of things.
The thing
And
that-
at the same point, I think if like the team wants, everybody wants the player to be healthy. The player, the management, the coaches, the even the players, managers, and his team, like his personal team, like everybody wants the player to be healthy. So I understand it. but it is kind of strange that like that the team gets the final say.
The thing that doesn't make any sense to me is like, so in the CBA, the player is allowed to get a second opinion.
Right.
What's the point of the second opinion if you're just going to tell them no?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I guess it's just to make them happy.
I guess. But
yeah, no, it's crazy, man. It's so weird. He should have had this surgery months ago, right?
Yeah, in the off season, like probably May, June, and now it's October, and he's still not going to get it. And now who knows how much time he missed, and now you're messing with his chances at an Olympics too.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
he's never going to be a Sabre again. So
no. And right now in the middle of the season, it's hard for people to clear up $11 million or however much he costs.
Right.
So it's even hard to trade for him now.
Yep. And when I was in Boston, I ran into a Buffalo fan, and both of us were drunk out of our minds, and it was a girl, and she was like, I told the story a couple episodes ago. I was like, the whole night we were going, go Bills, back and forth every time we walked by, and at one point she said, fuck the Eagles. So I said, fuck the Bills. I was like, fuck the Sabres. We're gonna take Eichel from you, bitch. Like just kind of going back and forth with her. And fuck it, we are.
Right.
I take Jack Eichel in a second.
Right. So what did you have to say about this?
I'll give him the surgery.
What did you have to say about Robin Lehner stuff? Bringing it back to that.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely think it's definitely like it's very, very. What am I trying to say here? It's I'm trying to find the word here. It's very dangerous to kind of have these allegations against somebody, and then when the NHL says the next day, okay, tell us what's wrong. Like they should. If there is something wrong, there should be a way to fix it. Like, but
they offered to have a sit down with them, yeah, and apparently they did. I think they did have a conversation.
Okay, but that's the thing is like all these people, the former players, current players, are all saying, okay, so what do you have that you don't want to throw out there that you threatened Vigneault and the Flyers with, and he's silent.
It was a very vague. It was a very vague allegation.
Right,
just claiming you have all this proof about something that Vigneault did, and nobody knows what it is.
And the whole world said, "Okay, show your proof," and
he was silent.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it's definitely we're not. Maybe he said something to the NHL that, like you said, they had to sit down. But it's very, very dangerous, man. It's and that's the thing is, as a player, especially a player of his caliber, where he's a top 5, top 10 goalie, right?
Yep.
He's probably not going to have the same repercussions as Vigneault. So, is he going to get blackballed by the league? Probably not, because of his talent. And it's not like he, murdered somebody or raped somebody or anything like that. But
I think his intentions, his end goal, I think is solid in the sense that he wants to change the quote unquote bad culture of hockey. I don't know if there necessarily is one, but that's the what's what I'm looking for, the stereotype of hockey, I guess. Right. So he's trying to change that. The old men's club is why he called him a dinosaur. Did you hear Vigneault's quote this morning when he got asked about it?
I saw a little bit of it. Yeah.
All right, I'll play it here. Hold on, let me pull this up here.
Robin Lehner said some inflammatory
Can you hear that?
things about you and the Flyers yesterday. Would you like to respond to that?
Well, I don't know the young man. Two things he said about me were I was a dinosaur. I consider myself experienced. Dinosaur, we say with experience you become a dinosaur maybe. But I do know I've been coaching a few years, and I am tough, I am demanding, but I care about my players. I want their best. Through the years, probably there's some guys that have liked me, and some other guys maybe a little bit less. But I've done it with the best intention, with respect, and like I said, I don't know the young man that said that. So as far as the other thing, me pushing pills, I don't need another income. I have no idea where that comes from. I don't know what else to say. I have no idea.
All right, so that was it.
I could definitely use a second income.
Right, exactly. I do like the joke originally, be like, he called me a dinosaur. I think I'd like
Right.
to call myself experienced more.
Right. Yeah, yeah.
So,
And I'm somebody who has struggled with anxiety and depression and
Right.
things like that, and I really appreciate the way that players come out. Brandon Brooks for the Eagles, and Robin Lehner, like everything he's done to help. But this doesn't help. Like if you're going to
No.
be somebody who's strong enough to come out and say, I deal with anxiety and depression, and then kind of do this, like it doesn't help the case in the sense that like. Because like the idea of anxiety and depression is that you're weak. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
like when you're somebody who comes out and says I have those issues, and then you do something like this, you're only making the idea of anxiety and depression weak. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? Like
Yeah, I get you.
it only makes things worse.
And it also contradicts what somebody else said in you talk about athletes being vocal about mental health and anxiety and all that stuff. And Dan Carcillo, former Flyer, is very big into that space. He's big into the concussion space. He's big into the mental health space. And he had a tweet. This was back in March, I believe, about a list of coaches that he actually did play for that were some of the best coaches he's ever played for, and Vigneault
Right.
was among that list.
Right.
He said he was a respectable guy. He treated all of his players right. He was hard, but he treated all of his players right the way people are supposed to be treated. And that's coming from Dave Carcillo, where if Vigneault did something bad or was a shitty guy, he would let the world know.
Right.
So Lehner's accusation kind of backpedals that from Carcillo.
For sure. And like you said, the only real connection that they have is the Nolan Patrick thing, and like
That's it.
and Patrick sat out the first year that Vigneault was here, and then he played for him for half a season. And that doesn't mean that he didn't bring him into his office and say, "Here, pop these pills; it'll help." But like, it still kind of helps Vigneault in his favor that he probably didn't do it because he didn't
Right.
play for him that long.
Right.
So I don't know, man. It's
And then
tough.
after, I don't remember if it was the same day. The timeline was all confusing, but Lehner did apparently say he wasn't talking about Nolan Patrick. But like, where else do you get the information
Right.
about Vigneault with the Flyers? That's literally the only connection.
Right, yeah, and like and it's not like you said with the Flyers. It's not like he said it when Vigneault was with the Rangers, like,
Right, or the Canucks.
right,
yeah.
right. So it's definitely strange, and I'm very, very curious. And I hope by next show we'll be able to kind of break it down a little bit of what
I don't know.
Lehner meant.
I don't know if there will be.
Okay,
I legitimately don't. I don't. Like, I think there's a legitimate chance maybe they have the sit down or whatever. They say, listen, we'll try to figure some things out within the game. You got to stop tweeting shit like that.
Yeah,
So I
possible.
think they'll silence him, but at the same time try to work with him to find a solution to better the game.
well, but what if it is like, say hypothetically it is real? Like,
That's a serious allegation.
well, no, well, if it's real, it's not just an allegation; it's fact.
Well,
So-
yeah.
So, say hypothetically it is real, like, I'm curious to see how that breaks down. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like, if it is real, and if it's not, then I hope Lehner has the repercussions that he has dealt with, that he
Right.
deserves to be dealt with.
Because
So,
I think you used the perfect word. It's just flat out dangerous.
right, it's flat out dangerous.
Yeah,
It's
I agree.
dangerous for Lehner. It's dangerous for the league. It's dangerous for Vigneault. It's dangerous for the Flyers.
Yep.
And for Vegas. I mean, the Knights, like the Golden Knights. So,
Right, and now their players are probably going to have to answer about this.
Right.
And it creates a big distraction and a week or two before the season starts.
right, and I know the Flyers go out west the first 2 weeks of the season.
They start at home.
So they start the first four at home, and then they go out west. I
Oh,
believe.
do that? Okay, right after
I
that. Okay.
wonder if they play Vegas. I'll look it up.
I don't know. I don't know how much it's relevant though. Like, I don't think there's going to be any sort of fight or anything.
No. I'm very curious to see how this goes. For that, when we do go there and the media starts asking,
Right.
okay, more about it. I don't mean anything about fighting.
Right.
just
Okay. I
mean
thought
more-
maybe you thought the
No,
players
no,
would
no.
be, pissed off or whatever.
No, not at all. I'm more curious about the Vegas media asking Vigneault things that they hadn't had an opportunity to yet, and vice versa. The Flyers media asking Lehner, I guess with COVID, I don't even know if I guess is the media allowed to? I guess they do it virtually. I don't know.
No, I think they're back in the old way. It might be a little
Okay.
like light or whatever, but yeah, I think they're in the press conference room.
Okay.
I
So
believe.
they don't play them until the December 10th.
Oh,
in
wow.
Vegas.
Okay.
Yeah. So the Flyers start 4 at home. The Canucks, the Kraken, the Bruins, and the Panthers, and then they go out west for 3: the Oilers, the Canucks, and the Flames. So
Okay.
and then they come back home, and then to the East Coast. But yeah, they don't play the Golden Knights until December. So there's a lot of time for stuff to change between now and then. So
Yeah, we might not.
so
hear about
disregard
this
everything I just said.
Exactly. I do that often anyway.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Thanks.
Yeah, no
You
problem.
probably should. Yeah.
All right, well, we can get out of here. There's really not much else. Season starts, what, about a week and a half? 10 or 11 days?
Yeah, something like that.
And then next Monday, I'm hoping to get Kevin Durso on from Sports Talk Philly and 97.3 ESPN to talk some Flyers, do our Flyers preview. I'm hoping to have that next week. So
He's got a really cool podcast with Brody. The hockey podcast.
Yeah, I forget. Open Ice Hits.
Yeah. That's always a fun listen. So
Yeah, they haven't done it in a while, have they?
I'm not sure.
Yeah,
That's a good question.
yeah,
I used to listen.
They probably
all the time.
took the off season off.
Yeah.
But speaking of hockey podcasts, our boys at Drunk on Broad,
Yes.
they're starting Don from Drunk on Broad and Jason Voorhees from the Sports and Metal podcast,
Yes.
are doing Drunk on Ice, and their first episode is Thursday. I want to say 9 p.m.
Okay. I love the name Drunk on
It's
Ice.
great. It's awesome. I love that they're branching out into the drunk.
Yeah. For
umbrella.
Sure.
I do enjoy it.
I'm excited for that one.
Absolutely. I already talked to Don. I'm going to be on eventually. I already talked to him.
For sure.
For
sure.
But I'm excited to hear it. I'm really excited to listen on Thursday. So
For sure.
you got anything else before we get out of here?
I wish I did. I wish I had a joke for you, but I don't have anything this week.
No, you don't have any more
maybe,
jokes.
Maybe next week.
That'll be our weekly thing. You just say a joke every week. So, all right, we're gonna get out of here. About you, I feel like our episodes are creeping up to an hour and a half every week now.
Yeah,
It's kinda,
give the
it's kinda
people
what's
what they
happening.
want.
Exactly.
They want to hear us talk for an hour and a half.
Yeah, exactly. But you follow us on Twitter. I'm at Mike_Giletto. Dom's at Dom Console. At Phired Up Podcast on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. We're barely active on there. It's fine. Whatever. We're gonna get out of here. BellyUpSports.com. Check them out. We will see you guys next week.